Just how good was it to get off to a quick start after the last 2 days?
Yeah, I was reminiscent of last weekend, and you kind of felt it. We had to hit in the cages today due to the weather, whether it be in here or out in that team huddle. You kind of felt it coming. Griffin was one of the guys, the first guys I saw today, and I don't know if it was because he got a hit last night or just because he wanted to win, or maybe he sensed he was going to play. He kind of had that attitude of very energetic, positive, and that's what we're searching for. And I think by now the guys kind of know what their best personality is, what their worst. So step one is coming to the park with the one that works. And then step two is much more challenging. When the game starts, it's easy today when we get off to the start that we did to keep that rolling or maybe even add on to it. But what are you going to do in the moments it doesn't go so well, especially at the beginning of a game? I don't mind saying that because it's going to happen. And so therein lies the challenge for this group.
How does an offense go from 18 strikeouts in game one to 18 walks in the finale?
I mean, a little bit of it takes two to tango. But our guys, even their outs today, were very competitive. And I think part of it is a group mentality of I just got to do my part and then hand the baton off to the next guy as opposed to trying to be a superhero in moments. So that was one pitfall at times. And then, we had a lead. And again, maybe now that I'm just talking through it, maybe there is a little bit of a extra challenge to this group of staying the course when things don't go well. And you guys asked me, do at-bats get affected if we're down on the scoreboard? And, I think the at-bats maybe get affected, but more importantly, our dugout. And I think these guys need to realize we've now got a walk-off win, got a road win, and about as big of a road win as you can have. This group can argue that Florida, that they're the best team in the league, and we beat them. So we're capable of doing a lot of great things as long as we keep that mentality.
What made Drew so effective today?
To me, I'm always a fan of the composure, and he throws strikes, and he had a little bit of that attitude that, he showed last year when we had some big series that were 1-1 going into game 3. And it was kind of, on my watch, it's going to have to go down this way, not any other way. And fortunately, we made a couple good plays behind him too. I mean, those three guys that got a chance to play today, Griffin, we mentioned, Cal, and Jasloff, just ask their shortstop. It wasn't easy to make plays on hard-hit ground balls, and he did a nice job behind Drew. So pretty good team effort, and obviously Drew was a shining star.
Tony, how much does the lineup change when kind of Merritt gets back and looking like himself again and adds that kind of right-hand power bat to the lineup?
Yeah, it's what it was, looking like it's supposed to be, what you want it to be going into the year. Certainly what he wants. And there's a lot of left-handed hitters we have in the lineup, regardless of who's pitching. So it means a lot. Probably the biggest thing is just the maturity. It was either last night or the night prior. I'm looking at the score sheet, and it's a lot of sophomore freshmen in there. And to have somebody that's got as many reps as he does, and also just kind of that level-headed mindset. He never thinks he's beat. He's always got good information for the other hitters. It just adds stability to the lineup.
No base running mistakes this weekend, a sign that this team is continuing to grow?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't, I'm not online, but I just kept getting asked about that. And I was like, geez, at LSU, I don't, we had a guy basically, lose his footing on dirt that you can lose your footing on, and you can get some crazy hops on that dirt as well. Other than that, I've seen a lot of progress, not just in that area, but in outfield defense. Those were kind of the two areas that were painful, at the start of the year. And I've seen nothing but progress in both those. And starting pitching's been good, sometimes not as good as it can be. Bullpen's been great. There's been a couple blips on the radar screen, but, all in all, they're coming together as a team. There's going to be moments where if you're you guys, you think the at-bat wasn't very good or the pitch thrown wasn't very good, but therein lies baseball, and I guess there's another challenge for our guys is how well can they bounce back from those when they occur, but they're going to occur.
How'd you feel Cal did behind the plate?
He did great. He and Drew have hooked up a few times because early in the year it was, typically him on day 3 getting kind of a spot start. So maybe the rapport there helps, but Drew certainly was locked into the spots he was hitting, made it easier on him. But ultimately, I think Cal's performance this weekend, because he made the Gold Glove type catch. He got on base for us the other night, took some good swings, and then today had a good day at the plate. It's just kind of energy. I mean, everybody's got a different personality to them. You don't have to bounce around or say stuff if you're a quiet guy, but when you're in here and they're getting loose, you can kind of tell who's excited about being here and who's excited about playing. And he's kind of had that, coming off of him the last few weeks, even on days when he knows dang well he's not in the starting lineup. So he got what he deserved today, in my opinion.
How do you get this team to bring the maybe looseness and confidence they seem to play with in Game 3 to those first games of series moving forward?
Yeah, I think each day's got a different flavor, and maybe there's a little too much, intensity or football mentality going into the series. So that's something to check on for sure. But kind of knowing, and it's not just, the last 2 games of each series. We've got other reps where they ain't got the blueprint for what the personality is. The deal is, if we score runs, yeah, it's easy to maintain that or pile onto it. But if the start doesn't go real well or there's some adversity along the way, where do you go with it from there? And I can try and contribute and throw out phrases. I mean, we're not going to have a team meeting in the middle of the game. That is, if anything comes out of today, or if we were to have a Sermon on the Mount, tomorrow to celebrate Easter about our team, that would be it. Is they know what it's supposed to be, coming to the locker room and then going to stretch and then completing pregame and then going into the game or going into a series. What are you going to do when it's not ideal the first 2, 3, 4, 5th inning, maybe even later in the game? Because it's not going to be ideal at any point. I mean, today wasn't even ideal. Would have liked to seen Camden Sewell throw the ball for the Vols today, but we obviously will take the win, but it's not going to be ideal.
Yeah, speaking of Camden, how do you balance wanting to have him ready on Sundays or Game 3 and still making sure he gets plenty of work?
Yeah, I think he's going to get plenty of work by the end of the year. That's a guarantee. So it's more just, probably taking, now that he's in a groove, and I will say that it was in the back of the mind a little bit of our coaching staff of him going almost 70 pitches last Saturday. I don't think he needs a full week rest from that, but we got other guys that are really effective. Coach Anderson met with the staff and he said, the one thing about this group that's different than last year or prior years, we've got strength in numbers. We might have strength in numbers as much as anybody, that we've played so far. So that's our true positive, but we probably need to start looking just with him and everybody else, just one game at a time. What do we got to do this game today without worrying about tomorrow, the next day, and without worrying about what happened before those games, as long as the guys are available.
Tony, have y'all gotten a clearer picture or anything with Maui in the past couple?
No, I mean, he was better today. And again, Jasloff played really well. Just kind of like that matchup and that situation. So he comes out of the game, and of course we have confidence in Kendro too. I think in a pinch he could have played today. He took part all of pregame. So I'd assume he'd be ready to go on Tuesday. Then it'll be up to us if we see that he's the guy that needs to be out there.
Anything different from Drew today that allowed him to go deeper into his outing?
I don't think so. I don't know. Just being honest, I asked Coach Az, do you think we could have gone longer, too short with Drew last few outings? Because going into today, he's basically fresh, and we can extend him. But I truly feel like he's gotten what we've needed done going into day 3. Is all those days we've had loaded pens, and just give us what we need. And sometimes we'll take the ball from him earlier than he wants, which is probably the occasion with all of them, or we'll extend him. We could even send him back out there in the 8th, but it was a good day for him, and I don't think he necessarily did anything different. That's his one big strength is consistency.
Thanks, Coach.